This EQ is called, so the name of this EQ is called ZL EQ2 or 3. I think it's 2. And essentially, excuse me, what this is a, it's a free version. To me, it's like the free version of FabFilter Pro EQ3, which if I remember correctly, it's like $160. This is free. I never used FabFilter. Always wanted to buy it though. So this, really for me, this is my first EQ outside of Ableton that I decided to move forward with because of what it can do. And I kind of just want to share with you guys exactly how I use it. And I'm gonna break down where I have it and actually like do some EQing. First of all, it looks kind of crazy right now. This EQ can hold up to 24 bands, I believe. Remembering from the manual here. This is what it sounds like with EQ. So again, without EQ. And then this is what it sounds like with this track. Anyways, this is kind of interesting bridge section, but yeah, for this, let's just here. I'll start with we're actually just start with a clean slate, and I'll talk about the EQ a little bit. So we got our analyzer, which is you have these options pre-post, inside. Can't really make any notes on that. I don't really want to get into that. You can also freeze it. I don't know why. There you go. Yeah, frozen. So you can, have a visual representation of all the frequencies playing at once. Collision detection is pretty cool. We'll talk about that later. I'm not really going to go into the slopes here, but you have an options from 0 to 6 or 0, yeah, you can see that. By default, I think it's already set to 4.5 decibels, so we'll just leave it there. And the strength, let's see, I think it's the strength of the slope, if I remember correctly. You might have to go over that again, look at the notes, look at the manual, sorry. Anyways, let's just go ahead. So yeah, this is it. You can move it around like that. Ooh, I do not like that. It's kind of small, maybe slightly. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fine. I like to be able to read all this. So this is pretty interesting. You just click it. You literally just click on the graph. Boom. Especially if you get to the edges right here, it goes ahead and makes a high pass and a low pass. And you can cut it. I like to go ahead and like set it typically to like the Ableton flavor, so 50, and this is usually, I think if I remember on Ableton, it's like 12.5. Maybe 50, maybe it is 12. I don't know. Forgot. Anyways, you have, your typical, so you got your peaks. You got boost, which essentially boosts the lows, if you're not too familiar with that. We also have our low pass, sweeping, take all of them out, bring them back. Then we have our high shelf, boost those high frequencies. We have, once again, high pass, high shelf. For sweeping, notch to just get rid of frequencies. And the Q, basically, it's the qualitative factor. The larger, the narrow it becomes. So, you know, the larger you're really getting in there. Precision. And before I get into all these other things, just kind of go through exactly. We'll even actually leave this one on. We'll leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it on. We'll add another EQ. So then we can continue. I think this is a band. Yeah, band pass. Tilt shelf. Which is I honestly don't really use this, and I don't know this. I don't really know why you would use this personally, but maybe there is a reason, because you can also do this over here, which I will be talking about the scale. But the scale is for the whole bands, for every band that you have on the graph here. This is just for the single band. Actually, I can see where I could use this for like automation in particular. Anyways, so we have that. Just go back to here and turn it down. It's a little high for what I want. I want to focus on this real quick. Actually, we'll do it. We'll do this. Well, I didn't add another one. Let's add a high shelf. Let's say I want to like increase the high frequencies. We'll do that, and we'll turn to gain. Let's actually move this to like here. Turn the gain down just slightly for the time being. Now this is interesting here. This is pretty cool. You can, so this is in stereo. It tells you right here as well, stereo. So then we click that, it's going to go to the left. And I'm going to use this in conjunction now. So if you want to hear this left stereo, left side stereo, you can solo it. So, and you can also solo by just double clicking this. So boom, turn the headphones on and off. That's all you're hearing. And now show you, for example, we'll go back to stereo. Just this frequency range here, boost it, all of that by 1.5, almost 1.6. Same thing for the right. Same thing. This is going to be the middle, I believe. Yeah, mids. And side. And it really varies on how you want to. It honestly works better, like for my understanding. We use high shelf to the left, right? We'll come over here. Let's increase it to like shelf 2, and now this is it together. Oh, that's kind of a little pass. That's it to the right. Yeah, and you can click out. So I'm going to go back to talking about the notch here, the silhouette. I mean, really, this is good for like getting out like pesky frequencies, especially with like resonance. And I really don't want to spend too much time talking about that today. In fact, I want to move on to a different sound. So this is our bass, and as you can see, you probably already noticed this red. Well, I can go ahead and talk about this. This is the collision detection, and I just want to kind of briefly go over some notes here about the collision detection. So typically this is going to show you sounds where sounds are like fighting for space. So, harshness, muddiness, masking, conflicting mid-range, and harsh overlaps. That's exactly what it's doing. You're probably wondering like, oh, well, maybe you should get rid of all of that redness. And yeah, it's cool. It's good to be a perfectionist, I guess, but it's just telling you don't really want to cut any of this out because you can flatten your track. Like with this, you can flatten the bass. There won't be any fullness because the frequencies aren't necessarily how can I convey this? It's okay for them to clash, I guess. Lack of a better term. And through that, they're not really competing, but like if you like for example, let's say like I want to get rid of all of this, like there's no sound. Even if I were to change it to this, there's still a conflict of interest. And now there's clicking because the gain's high. You don't want that. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyways, it's super helpful if things really are bad. Like, you don't always need to boost your bass like super. You don't need to come in here and be like, I want this to be super bass heavy. Like, I want that bass to really just you popping, you get clicks, it just sounds like shit. Like, don't do it. Cool tool, regardless. Cool thing to use. Let's just go. I'm gonna go talk about these like really weird plucks that I made. Here, let's go ahead and just switch it up. You probably noticed some movement here. You're like, you can see that this part of the graph is filled. This is with dynamic behavior. You can turn this on and off. Super cool tool. I guess we can talk about that now. Sure. So basically what dynamic behavior is, it's the EQ reacts depending on the signal's loudness and the frequency range. So we have it set to this range of 3200. And then you maybe notice these like compressor type knobs, the threshold, attack, knee, and release. It's just for this band. Don't get it twisted. Like, I don't believe I have. Yeah, I don't have dynamic turn on for this, but now I do. This is just going to affect this band within this frequency range. And through that, you can have auto dynamic learning, which is great for detection of threshold and knee. So you can kind of go ahead and set it. You could turn it back off and be like, oh, okay, I know where I need to like set this. It always sets it to 40, typically. It depends. I wouldn't worry about that too much. And then you have dynamic relative. You can have them both on at the same time. And so essentially what dynamic relative is going to do, it's great for detection. It's instead of loudness decibels, it reacts to imbalances. This is like much more musical. For example, a great example I would say is like, let's say you have something around 8,800 kilohertz, that pokes out. This, once you have this turned down, it makes cuts to that range. You have this bar at the bottom here, which you can move around. You can move, it's better just to move it here. You can, which is really cool and interesting. And I thought that this would have an effect on this particular range over here, because we have it at 3,200. Let's say I set it to like 600, right? You know, I thought it was going to do something in this range. Well, it doesn't really do anything in that range. It still corresponds to this band, so band 3 in this example here. And essentially what it does, when the sound gets loud enough, the EQ band will move up or down inside the range of the bar. And that's why you have this diamond here. And in this example, this diamond is facing up. So if I were to bring it down, let's do this. Still kind of heady. Anyways, so let me just go ahead and craft this. What I think sounds good. this is essentially just a classic EQing. That's all it is. Whatever EQ, EQ8, whatever. Then you have state variable. This is great for automation or automating certain bands. So like for sweeping, for example, perfect for that. But it's not, I wouldn't use it. Don't use it if you're bending wet and dry or duplicating tracks. Do not do that. It's just going to sound bad, trust me. And then you have parallel, which I like parallel. It has more of an analog feel. It's smoother dynamic EQing behavior. It's great for broad music shaping. Then we have match phase, which is more colorful tone shaping. Really good for, you want to like boost those high frequencies without making it too harsh. That's essentially why this is great. And then you have zero phase and mix phase, which are perfect for putting on the master chain. I wouldn't use it on the all this other stuff, but down here, master, go for it. But zero phase has no distortion, no phase distortion. It's great on the master chain. It's great for fixing like resonance, surgical, EQ, high frequency, peaks, things that are just really harsh and peaky, you want to get rid of. It also has huge latency issues. It's the cleanest EQ curve, but it's gonna take a lot of power out of your computer. But yeah, mix phase. I would use both. I would use mix phase and match phase for sure. And I don't know if you can note it. You probably can. It's sharp. It's sharp right now because of that filter. It's fine. Save variable. Wouldn't use it if you're not automating it. Parallel's the best. Parallel and minimal. Just for high frequency things. I would have match phase on just for high frequency things like like a high pitch pluck. There you go. Pretty cool tool here. Pretty cool. Then you also can do this with the scale. So obviously increase the gain, increase it. This is going to take, so as you can see, going backwards here. And now we have SLA, which you're probably wondering, like, what is that? Where essentially it's your static gain compensation, which is it estimates your EQ boost and it cuts and makes changes overall to the overall volume. Essentially, that's exactly what it does. And then we have loudness match, it measures before and after EQ. Think volume matching, essentially. Then you have auto gain compensation, where this typically constantly adjusts itself, adjusts the gain so the output stays matched. And what it also does too, it's going to send through a hard clipper at 0 decibels. It's constantly changing right now. I don't even mess with either of these. I just kind of fill it out myself. I feel like some of this stuff comes in handy if you're dealing with vocals, and I don't really use a lot of vocals in my tracks. I would like to, but I just don't really do that. And yeah, I feel like, yeah. So you can invert gain. So it's gonna bottom up. Boom, boom. Let's go back. We can also split the left and the right, which is going to separate the left and the right bands. There you go. Left and right. Yeah. Or I don't know why you would do that when you can just click it right here. And then you can split the M and S, which is mids, and the side bands. Same thing. Why would you do that when you can just click on this band here. Just put it back in the middle. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of a crash course gist to EQing. I highly recommend just going out of your way and learning more about EQing and EQ techniques, especially if you're making like electronic music, experimental music, ambient music, so on, sound design even. It can get real, since you're not really dealing with a full band or recording an artist, like you have a little bit more experimental and freedom to but you can also use it for, recording artists or making more structured, like a rock band or something. But yeah, it's a powerful tool and it's free and it's regularly updated through their GitHub page. I will have a link in the description. Looking forward to recording the next video and seeing what you guys think. Have a good day.